I found something compelling and interesting and stimulating about every course that I took. Because when one is making art, it's not within a vacuum. It is informed by something, often many, many things. And so even if there's a course that you think, that's not going to be one that's necessarily directly relevant, you never know how it might come back around. My name is Kari Varner, and I graduated from the Emergent Digital Practices program, which is under the School of Art and Art History, in 2013. You know the things that you do when you're a freshman, and you're like, I need to be done with this. This isn't relevant to me, right? And so you think that those classes aren't going to come up later on. Well, something that happens if you're an art major is that you have to do foundations courses in your first year. And so those include drawing, 2 and 3D, as well as concepts. So you are learning all of these different ways of thinking about art, making art, and really getting that strong foundation. You're cutting out these pieces of black paper and then having to paste them onto like a white sheet, and you're like, why am I doing this? Like, this is not design. This is not like this. I want to be making photographs. And then you're like, oh no, actually that was teaching me fundamentals of art that are like really, really, foundational to your understanding. Providing that for me allowed me to move confidently into different areas of making within my arts practice. And now, while my work is primarily photographic, I make videos. I sometimes make sculptures. I work with textile. And I don't think that I would have imagined that I could do those things if I didn't have those foundations to draw from. The exhibition that I have here is called Altered Ecology. Fundamentally, I'm engaging with place and thinking about how industry and agriculture leave traces upon the landscape. And oftentimes, my practice involves direct engagement with the environment. I'm gathering plants, invasive plant species right now, and I'm also taking photographs. And so then once I have done that harvesting in the landscape, I return to my studio and I boil that plant material and utilize that directly as my photographic developer for both film and paper. So it's highly experimental, and there's this direct link between the material that I'm using and the place itself. And so I think about photography quite expansively, and it does go back to my time here, right? That I had the opportunity to work with Emergent Digital Practices, but there were also so many studio classes that I took along the way. So while the work is very photographic in this exhibition, I do quite a lot of dabbling, and there's a sort of alchemical element to the production of the work. I chose University of Denver for really so many reasons. I was actually coming to visit another school in Denver, and we had some time. So dropped into campus, went on the campus tour, and then I met with some of the faculty and staff within the School of Art and Art History, and I just had this wonderful, welcoming feeling. Happily, that initial feeling of welcomeness really stayed throughout, and that's why I'm still very involved with the university, because I made those lifelong connections, and that's something that's been really, really special about the University of Denver.